Alright fellas, we've got some big news coming out of the Saudi camp. His Excellency Turki Alalshikh has just confirmed they have signed Ryan Garcia. The deal is done. Ryan Garcia is set to return to the ring, and with so many rumours circling of late, I've resisted covering the current story until we got something a bit more concrete than just the hearsay that's been going around. Yet this move seems to validate some of these rumours. Although this post didn't exactly say who they are fighting next, we do have our hands on the timeline they are setting out, and I reckon we could have a good idea of what could be the next few fights, which could include some of the biggest fights that we've been waiting so long for. But just quickly, if you love boxing, make sure to subscribe and I'll keep you in the loop. Now, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia has been one of the biggest stories in boxing over the past year. Yet, you know the story. Everyone thinks Ryan's crazy, he wins the bout, he pops for PEDs, and the win gets revoked, and a whole bunch of trash talking in between. Yet because of all this drama, it has made us want to see it all again. And even though this fight was in April of last year, the drama has remained relevant, mainly because of each party's different stunts they're pulling. But regardless, it's one of the most demanded current matchups. Yet with Garcia being banned for a year, we've had to wait, and the rematch seemed clouded in uncertainty. But like to a lot in boxing at the moment, in steps the Saudis. Now, they've signaled they did want to make the rematch, but it was all a bit quiet until last week. Last week we had the Ring Awards, which almost every relevant boxer went to, including both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. And for the first time since the original match, they were in the same place at the same time. They did have a vague confrontation, which was just Bill Haney yelling at Ryan Garcia getting in a car, but aside from that, them being there signaled that both parties were at least in talks with the Saudis. Everyone there was there to discuss future deals with Riyadh season, and I think we're set to see a lot more come out in the next few weeks about your favourite boxers, and I'll make sure to have you covered. But still, we weren't exactly sure if a deal was completed, with rumours of BLK Prime being brought back to life going around. There was some doubt, yet this post by His Excellency today has put a full stop to it, although with this deal we aren't seeing Haney versus Garcia next. Just give me a second and let me explain. What we have been handed is the roadmap to the rematch. The rumoured deal first includes a card in May, somewhere in the United States. The Ring magazine has come out and claimed that both Garcia and his rival Haney will be showcased against different opponents on the same card in May. If both Haney and Garcia manage to win their respective bouts, they will advance to an October rematch scheduled to open Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. Now this return is scheduled for just after Ryan's ban finishes up. Now this isn't the first time we have seen this sort of thing happen by the Saudis. If you remember, one of their first cards was the Day of Reckoning, which was meant to showcase both Joshua and Wilder on the same card, with if they both won they would have ended up fighting each other. Yet of course Wilder lost and the rest is history. So we are set to see one of these cards once again, and it's an exciting time for all you fans in the States, with this event guaranteed to be fireworks. But who could both of them be fighting? Will it be a couple bums that will basically guarantee the rematch? Well, I don't think so. The rumour which has been going around, which seemed to be confirmed by the man himself, is that we could see Ryan Garcia be the headliner facing off against Teofimo Lopez. If this happens, this could be almost as big as the Haney-Garcia rematch. We've all been waiting for Lopez to finally take a big fight and stop fighting journeymen, and we could finally be set to see this. This matchup excites me. Seeing the contrast between Lopez's counter-punching ring IQ against Garcia's pace and sharp combinations is a perfect clash of styles. Whilst along with that, the build-up would set to be fireworks, with both having huge egos and both being able to run their mouths. This seems like the most likely scenario currently, but there are rumours of Pitbull and Boots still circling, with Boots being by far the most unlikely out of the three. So Garcia has a tough challenge ahead of him regardless, but who could we see Haney fight? Well, Haney put out a tweet signalling he is done at 140, so it could be an opponent at 147. This could be also where they both end up for the rematch. The main opponent being rumoured is Jose Ramirez. The 29-2 Ramirez recently lost a unanimous decision against Arnold Barboza Jr., and his only other loss comes against a prime Josh Taylor. Although not as hard as a fight compared to Teo, he is still a tough opponent. But he does also fight at super lightweight, so Devin could be lying about the fact he's done at 140. I guess we'll have to wait for official announcements to confirm. But this is the main rumoured opponent for Devin, and this is kind of what I expected more so than a Garcia-Teo matchup. It's just more of a typical comeback fight. But it still will be a tough comeback for Haney. but he should be able to take home the win. My only concern for Haney though is this fight might actually be at 147. To put it simply, Haney has no power. He's got pillow hands. His last KO was against Antonio Moran in 2019, at 135. Even when versing incredibly smaller fighters than himself against Kambosos and Lomachenko, he still couldn't put them away. Loma even put a beating on him. Devin moving up with the same power will only be a disadvantage, and with his chin now being in question, taking heavier shots will only be further trouble. But no matter who they fight, we're set to see them both back in the ring sometime in May. That will be a truly huge event, and as long as they both win, we will see the rematch. When the Saudis are serious about something, they make it happen. But the question turns to, can Garcia and Haney really get past their next opponent? If Garcia fights Teo next, he has a huge challenge in front of him, with Teo being probably one of the toughest fights he could take at 140. Massive for a comeback fight, I really didn't expect it. Whilst for Haney, has he truly recovered from the last Garcia matchup? Will he end up like a Tim Tszyu? They mentally block out the thoughts of the last match only to be haunted by it, and end up losing a matchup they shouldn't. I just don't want Haney to be overlooking his next opponent Tim Tszyu style. He's coming off what was really a hard loss, and that Garcia rematch isn't guaranteed, so he'll need to make sure he's both 100% mentally and physically ready to stage a proper comeback. But lastly, we gotta give some props to His Excellency for making these fights happen. No matter what your opinions are on the Saudis getting involved in boxing, you just can't deny that they are bringing the sport back to life, bringing the bouts that the fans want to see. The other side of the sport, you see Tank is complaining that the fighters under the Riyadh banner are only doing it for the money, while he's hypocritically versing Lamont Roach, a fight no fan wants to see. That's a fight for the money, not this. The rest of the stars are making the big fights happen, and that's something you gotta commend. But now I want to hear what you think. Who do you reckon Garcia and Haney will be set to fight in May, and how do you see the rematch going down? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. It does a ton to help the channel. Yet, thanks for watching fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.